Did I buy the best $1,000 car? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner. And no, I am not kidding. I bought a car for only $1,000. And not just any car, a problem-free, reliable, powerful luxury car. Sound too good to be true? Well, I promise you it is real. So what is the car? It is a 2002 Infiniti i35. A bit of a hidden gem and a car that's been forgotten by most. But in this video, I'm going to explain why this is one of the best cars I have ever owned. So what exactly is the story of this car? Well, I didn't buy this car just yesterday. I actually bought it a few years back from a client that I was helping who was buying a new car from a dealer, and the dealership was not interested in taking this Infiniti as a trade-in, probably because it was too old. And he had no interest in selling it privately, so he basically offered it to me. And even though I was not looking for a car at the time, I thought, hey, as just a car to drive around the area in as a second car, why not? So he agreed to sell it to me for just $1,000. I bought this car based on his description, sight unseen, which is something I obviously recommend that you never do, but thankfully it worked out very well because this car is far better than I could have ever expected. But before we get into my ownership experience of what's gone wrong with it, what it's been like to own, let's go over what this car is exactly. The i35 was made between 2002 and 2004. It's basically Infiniti's version of the Nissan Maxima. Both cars are mechanically very similar. And this car was designed during Nissan Infiniti's golden era, when they were at their absolute peak in terms of building high quality, reliable vehicles, just before they were bought out by Renault and things started to go downhill. And it's quite an impressive car. In fact, in some ways, it's actually better than many of the luxury sedans that it was competing against back in the day, such as the Lexus ES300, the Acura 3.5 RL, the Mercedes E320, and BMW 530i. For one thing, the i35 is more powerful than any of those cars. It uses a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 engine, part of Nissan Infiniti's VQ engine family, which, believe it or not, is still being used to this day in the new Nissan Pathfinder. When new, this engine produced 255 horsepower and 246 pound-feet of torque, which made it the most powerful car in its class, and is still a very powerful engine by today's standards. And you can definitely feel that performance. This car has a lot of power and it definitely goes. Now it is held back a little bit by the transmission, which is just a regular 4-speed automatic. But you know what? It's very smooth, and I would take a simple, reliable 4-speed automatic over the modern CVT dual clutch transmissions any day. Like I said, this car was engineered and designed during the golden era, before emissions and safety regulations really started to weigh down on build quality. And boy, has this car ever demonstrated that it is a well-made, reliable car. Now, what kind of problems and issues have I had with it over the past few years? Well, I wish I had more to share here to make a more interesting video, but really there hasn't been that much. In the few years that I've owned it, this car has only had 2 problems with it. Number 1 was a failed oxygen sensor, which is no big deal, very simple repair. And the second was a noise that was coming from the front end, which turned out just to be the metal shield behind the brakes, which just needed to be unbent with a hammer. And the mechanic was able to take care of that for free. I mean, think about that. When is the last time you had an issue with a car and the repair was completely free? Pretty amazing. And aside from that, all this car has ever needed is just basic maintenance, nothing else. Now, to be fair, this example does have relatively low mileage. When I bought it, it only had 110,000 kilometers, or around 65,000 miles. And after driving it for a few years, it now only has around 138,000 kilometers, or 85,000 miles. But even so, it is a 23, 24-year-old car, and given that reality, it has been surprisingly solid. And not only is this car problem-free mechanically, but it's in excellent cosmetic shape. The interior looks absolutely immaculate, it's in great condition, and the body is completely rust-free, which is because it has been rust-proofed with Crown Rust Control oil spray protection several times throughout its entire life. So overall, the condition of this car is excellent. Sure, it obviously has some scrapes and scratches and wear and tear here and there, as any car would of this age. But considering how old this car is, it's pretty impressive. In fact, I think it's safe to say that this car, even though it's only $1,000, has been more reliable than many brand new cars that you can buy these days. It's a shining example of Japanese engineering and reliability at its absolute best. And not only that, but it's just a fantastic driving car. It's very smooth, very comfortable, and because it has so much power from that buttery smooth V6 engine, it's just a beautiful highway car that absolutely melts away the miles. And it is quite luxurious. I mean, just look at all the features that you get in this interior. The i35 comes with heated front and heated rear seats, power adjustable seats with memory settings for the driver, and the seat even automatically slides back when you open the door. It has a heated steering wheel that gets incredibly hot, unlike most modern cars which just go lukewarm. It also has a sunroof, xenon headlights, a Bose sound system with both a cassette deck and a 6-disc CD changer, and it even has a power rear sunshade. That is true luxury. So there's definitely a lot of things that I really like about this car, but are there any things that I don't like? Well, obviously it's missing a lot of modern conveniences that would be nice to have, such as Bluetooth phone connectivity and USB ports for connecting your device. It's also quite a gas guzzler. That V6 engine might be powerful and smooth, but it definitely uses a lot of gas. Thankfully though, it does come with a very large gas tank, which does help. And the other issue that this car has is its turning circle, which is absolutely horrendous. It turns around like a large truck. Every time you need to do a 180, you have to do a 3-point turn. But aside from that, I really don't have any other major complaints. It's just a really satisfying, nice car to drive. And the fact that I got this car for what's basically bicycle money these days, well, it's pretty hard to complain. So would the i35 be a good choice for someone that's looking for a super cheap and affordable used car? Well, I would say absolutely yes. In fact, many of the YouTubers who make videos on the best cheap used cars to buy tend to recommend options such as the Buick LeSabre with the 3.8 V6, the Ford Crown Victoria or the Grand Marquis, or maybe some of the Japanese cars like the Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. Now, all of those are excellent, reliable used cars, no question about that. But because they've been so publicized, everyone knows they exist and everyone's after them. So it's very, very difficult to find a really nice example for a super low price, which is the advantage of the i35. It's a car that's basically off the radar. No one knows about it and no one is looking for it, which is an advantage when shopping used. And in many ways, I would say that this is a much better car than most of those other choices. It's just as nice to drive, just as powerful, even more luxurious, and easily just as reliable. And now for the big question I know I'm going to get asked. Would I sell this car? Well, I think for now I'm just going to continue using it and driving it because I have to be honest, it's been really nice driving around in a super cheap, basic old car that I really don't have to worry about. 95% of my time spent on the road is spent driving and testing new cars for this channel. So I really don't have any need for anything that's fancier or more expensive than this. So for my purpose, this car has been absolutely perfect. And not only that, there's something really humbling about driving around in a simple, cheap, old car that average people can afford. I know that a lot of YouTubers make fancy videos driving all kinds of expensive high-end cars, but that's just really not my style. One thing I'll promise though, if I do decide to sell this car maybe in the next year or two, I will make an announcement on the channel and give everybody a fair shot at it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And remember, if you are planning to purchase a car in Ontario, know that OMVIC is the vehicle sales regulator that's responsible for administering and enforcing the rules that dealerships must follow. To learn more about your consumer protection rights, visit omvic.ca, and if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to visit carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.